Hey everybody, this is going to be the tutorial that's going to show you how to make the Flutterby butterfly shawl. And in this tutorial, the yarn that I used is from Yarn Art from their Flowers line. It's 1,000 meter skein. I'll leave the link on my pattern, my free crochet pattern for this design on my site so that you can find out all the information about it so you can order some if you want. This is fingerling yarn, and I used a 4mm hook or size G hook to make this shawl. But for the purposes of this tutorial, I'm going to be using a 5mm hook or size H hook for the US and worsted weight yarn. The gauge for this is on the pattern, as well as how wide and how tall it is and everything else. So most of the information you're going to find details about the shawl is going to be on the pattern page, which the link is down below. So go ahead and grab your yarn and hook and we'll get started. Okay, to begin row 1, you want to chain 3. Then using this very first chain that we did here, you're going to double crochet 8 into this chain. And I like to go through only the top loop only, and I also like to work over my tail. But you can do however you feel comfortable. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Now the very first chain 3 that we did, you can see the chain 1, chain 2. I feel like I'm a little far away here. Chain 1, chain 2, and then this is the chain 3 where we worked all our stitches into. Well, this chain 2 will count as your first stitch. So you'll count that as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You should have a total of 9 stitches for row 1. Okay, so for row 2, chain 2. Again, this chain 2 will count as a double crochet, and then turn. In the very first stitch here, you'll put 1 double crochet. Chain 2 does count as a stitch, so that counts as increase, double crochet, chain 2, and now you'll repeat that for the row. You'll put 2 double crochets in each stitch around. Well, I'm at a really weird angle, so maybe I should do this off camera. Okay, so at the end of row 2, you want to chain 2 and turn. For row 3, we're going to be putting a front post double crochet worked on this very first double crochet of the row. So yarn over, pick up that post, that first double crochet, and do a double crochet onto it. And that's how you do a front post double crochet. Now you're going to skip the next double crochet, and then in the next one you're going to put 2 double crochets, chain 1, 2 double crochets, all worked into this third stitch. So we're going to go 2 double crochets. I have this hair in here driving me nuts. 2 double crochets, chain 1, 2 double crochets, all worked in that same stitch. Okay, now make sure that you see the double crochet that you just worked that into. Skip the next one, and on the post of the following one you will put a front post double crochet. Then you repeat this for your row. After your front post double crochet, you will skip the next one, and then in the following one, but in the stitch, not on the post, when you make your V-stitch shell thingies, peaks, whatever you want to call them, you'll put 2 double crochets, chain 1, 2 double crochets, all worked in that same stitch. And then again, after every peak here, you will also skip the next stitch after those 2. but you always want to make sure you're skipping the right one. So I always try to make sure that I find the post that I'm on, skip the next one, and then the following one you will put a front post double crochet onto that one. This row is one of the important rows. It sets you up for the rest of the shawl, so really take your time and make sure you're putting it in the right stitch. So you got your front post double crochet again, so you're going to skip the next one, and then in the stitch of the next double crochet you will put 2 double crochets, chain 1, 2 double crochets, all worked in that same stitch. And then again, this is to find the double crochet that you worked in so that you skip the next one, and then in the following one will be a front post double crochet, then the next one, then the next one, and this will be our 2 double crochets. I'm running out of yarn. Chain 1 and then 2 double crochets. Okay, again, this is the one we worked in, this is the one we skip, this is the one we put our front post double crochet on. And then you're just going to skip this last chain on the end. Okay, so you want to chain 1 and turn. So for row 4, we are going to do like we did before, our front post double crochets, but this row they're going to be back post double crochet. So all the places here where we have our front post, we'll be grabbing them like this to create our back post. But for the very first one here, I don't know how to do a back post on the very end one, so I always just do a double crochet on that post and that's it. I don't try to make it front or back. I just put that double crochet worked onto the post itself, and then that counts as my first stitch. Then you want to go into this very first space here, and you want to put 2 double crochets worked into that big space. Then in your peaks here, you're going to do exactly the same thing as you did the previous row. In the chain 1 space here, you're going to put 2 double crochets, chain 1, 2 double crochets. So 2 double crochets, chain 1, 2 double crochets, all worked into that peak shell. Okay, now in the space in between, the next big space here, after your 2 double crochets, in that space you're going to work 2 double crochets. And then this is where we come to our very first back post double crochet. You're going to yarn over, you're going to come in from this way, push that back, that post back, and then just work a double crochet onto the post to do your back post double crochet. Then again, we're going to repeat what we just did. This is the beginning of the repeat. You're going to be going first into the space before the peak shell, and you're going to put 2 double crochets in there. Then we're going to repeat our peak shell here in the chain 1 space of our previous peak shell, and we're going to do our 2 double crochets, chain 1, 2 double crochets, all worked into our peak shell there. And then again in the space after, skip these 2 double crochets, and in this next space you'll put 2 double crochets. Then again you'll do your back post double crochet, and then it begins the repeat again. So in the next space here you're going to be putting 2 double crochets, and then work one of our shell peak stitches in the shell peak stitch. 2 double crochets, chain 1, 2 double crochets, and then again we'll skip the next 2 double crochets, and in the big space we'll put 2 double crochets, and then again do your back post double crochet, and then you'll work in the next space here 2 double crochets, and then in the next peak stitch you'll put your 2 double crochets, chain 1, 2 double crochets, And then again in that space in between here, you're going to put 2 double crochets, and then in the very last space here, and I know it's the chain is here that we skipped before, and the front post. I try to get yarn over, go into here like you normally would, and then just go between the chain and the double crochet, and just back post double crochet onto the back post double crochet, ignoring the chain there. And that will end row 4. Okay, for row 5, you want to chain 1 and turn. Now on that very first post here, you'll put your front post double crochet on there. Work your front post double crochet. Now we're going to skip these first 2 double crochets that are here, and in the space between our shell peaks here and that 2 double crochets, we're going to use this space, and you're going to put another shell peak in there. So it's going to be 2 double crochets, chain 1, 2 double crochets, and then you're going to do the same in the next space as well. 2 double crochets, chain 1, 2 double crochets, and then again we're going to skip the next 2 double crochets, and in the space here in between we're going to put another peak stitch there. So do 2 double crochets, chain 1, and 2 double crochets, and then we'll find our front post. We're going to skip the next 2 double crochets, and in this front post double crochet we're going to work front post double crochet. So pretty much we just did 3 peak shells. Did front post double crochet, 3 peak shells, and front post double crochet, and it pretty much starts from the repeat is these 3 shells and then the front post double crochet. So we're going to repeat that now. Again, skip the first 2 double crochets, and you're working in the space. Going to be working in the spaces here and then here. So you're going to be skipping the 2 double crochets that we did last row and only working with the spaces in between. So it'll be peak stitch, peak stitch, peak stitch, and then front post double crochet. So skipping my first 2 double crochets, and in that space I'm going to put 2 double crochets, chain 1, and 2 double crochets. And then in my peak that's already there, I'm going to continue with the 2 double crochets, chain 1, 2 double crochets, and then skip the next 2 double crochets, and in the space again you'll be putting your 2 double crochets. I lost my yarn here. Chain 1, and then 2 double crochets worked into that space, and then you will skip the next 2 double crochets and put your front post double crochet. So go ahead and continue that one more time, and I'm going to go ahead and grab my yarn up here. Okay, I just did my last little peaks here in my last little section, and now again I need to do a front post double crochet. So I think I'm going to use the chain this time, make it the front post, and it kind of pushes that one back more. Oh, maybe I shouldn't. Always take the ones on the end. Maybe I'll just do the whole thing. I'm just going to do the chain and the front post and just do my front post double crochet on that. Huh? Yeah, looks nice. Looks neater. And see, look, it looks like a butterfly. With the, just needs one more of those and that would be perfect. Okay. So we are on row 6 now. So we are going to chain 1 and turn. And now we're going to do a back post double crochet. But again, we're just going to do a double crochet worked on the post for the first one. Okay, so for row 6 we are going to be using our peak stitches here, and we're going to single crochet in our first double crochet, and then we're going to skip the next double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, and we're going to be single crocheting in this very last double crochet. So we're going to be using these last 2 double crochets of our shells here. or peaks, whatever you want to call them. So you'll single crochet in that very first one, and then you'll chain 5, 3, 4, 5, and then single crochet in that last peak. I mean the last double crochet of that peak. Then you'll repeat that 2 more times for the row. So again, your single crochet into the very next double crochet, because it's the next one is our very first one of the peak, and then you'll chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then you'll skip that double crochet, chain 1 space, double crochet, and in this last double crochet of our shell here, you'll put your single crochet. Then again, put a single crochet in the very next double crochet, chain 5, and then skip the next double crochet, chain 1 double crochet, and then our last double crochet here, we're going to put a single crochet at the end. And then you'll put a back post double crochet worked on our back post double crochets. You can see on the back a little bit better on your back post double crochets. So then you want to repeat that for the row. So the next peak is here, so we'll find that first double crochet, we'll put a single crochet in it, then chain 5, 3, 4, and 5, and then find that last double crochet of our peak here, single crochet, then single crochet in the very next double crochet, chain 5, skip our double crochet, chain 1 double crochet, and in the next double crochet you'll single crochet, and then repeat, single crochet in the next, chain 5, then single crochet in the next. And when you have those 3, then you know that the next one is going to be the back post double crochet, and then you'll just keep continuing that for the row, single crochet in the next double crochet, chain 5, 3, 4, 5. Okay, I'm going to do this off camera and change my positions a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to do my back post double crochet on my very last stitch here, and then that will end row 6. So for row 7, you want to chain 1 and turn, and again you'll front post double crochet on your front post double crochet, and then we're going to be doing our first leaflet crochet stitch. This is what I'm calling it. I'm calling them the pattern LCS, and what they are is you'll be working on these chains 5s, and you'll put 4 single crochets worked onto that chain 5 space, and then you want to chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and then in the same chain 5 space you'll put 4 more double crochets, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then you're going to move over to the very next chain 5 space and repeat. Put 4 single crochets on that chain 5 space, and then chain 5, and then go back into that same chain 5 space, and on the other side of this you'll put 4 single crochets as well. So it'll be single crochet 4, chain 5, single crochet 4, and you'll work that in each one of these chain 5 spaces. 1, 2, 3, and 4, chain 5, 3, 4, and 5, and then back into that space again, 2, 3, 4. And then on the front post double crochets you'll work a front post double crochet, and then again it'll bring you back up to your chain. So that's, you're going to be doing 4 double crochets, chain 5, 4 double crochets worked in each one of your chain 5 spaces here, and then front post double crochet onto your front post double crochet before starting your next. So just repeat this till you get to your very last front post double crochet on the end, and then I will show you how to do row 8. Here you want to chain 3. 1, 2, 3, and turn. Now we're going to be working with triple crochets. So the chain 3 here counts as the first triple crochet. So you want to put 3 triple crochets worked in that very first stitch, or very first, I guess it's a front post double crochet. So in the stitch, you'll put 3 triple crochets. You'll yarn over twice. And that chain 3 counts as a stitch, so this counts as 4 triple crochets in that first stitch. Now we'll be using the chain 5 spaces here from the previous row to make our LCSs for this row. So when you come up to this, you'll just insert your hook and you'll do your 4 single crochets onto that chain 5, and then chain 5, which is what we'll be using to make our leaflet crochet stitch next row. And then in that same chain 5 space, you'll be working in your next 5 single crochets. And that's how you'll be making your leaflet stitch from row to row, using the chain 5s from the previous row. So again, you'll put 4 single crochets onto that chain 5, then chain 5, and then single crocheting 4 more onto that same chain 5 space. Then you'll move over to your next. You'll have 3 spaces here. 4. Then chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then single crochet 4 on this side. Okay, so we have our 3 double crochets there, and then we will put on the back post double crochets that run here, and after these 3 it'll run here. So you'll do 3 leaflet crochet stitches, and then it'll bring you back up to your back post double crochet. And in this back post double crochet, the stitch of it, not the post, you'll be working 4 triple crochets into that stitch. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then that'll bring us back up to our next 3. And we'll continue by putting 4 single crochets on the chain 5, and then chain 5, and then 4 single crochets on the other side of it, same space. And then again, you will do your next 2 as well like that. And then again, you will have your back post double crochet that you will work your 4 triple crochets in that stitch. So do just like we just did here. You want to continue this for the row. I want to show you, I did it again off camera. Finished my other 2, and then 4 triple crochets into my back post double crochet stitch, and then there's no need to chain after your 4 triple crochets. Just go right into the next leaflet and create the next leaflet stitch, and then just continue for the row. So I'll see you at the end of row 8. Okay, so I'm at the end of my row here, and in the very last stitch, I guess I'm going to use the chain here. So as much as I can into that the front post or back post double crochet here in the end, and you need to work 4 triple crochets into that last stitch on the end, so that it all comes, you know, equal on each side. So that is the end of row 8. Row 10, by the way, is the repeat that you'll be repeating. There's only one row repeat for this, so it's really cool. Okay. So you want to start off by chaining 3, which is going to count as your very first triple crochet of the row, and then turn. So after you chain 3 and turn, this row we're only going to be working with the spaces in between. This first chain 3 will count as your first triple crochet that we would be working in our space, but since it's a chain, obviously we can't do that. So now it comes up to the middle space. Here we have 3 spaces. The middle space here, we're going to be putting our peak stitch in the middle of, and that will be 4 triple crochets all worked into that same middle space. We'll always be putting 4 triple crochets in the middle space, and that'll be our increases for our triple crochet sections here. So in the next space between the 2 triple crochets, we're going to put a triple crochet, and we'll always be working in the spaces and never the stitches of the triple crochet, but the spaces in between our triple crochets. And then you will do your leaflet stitch like you always do. 3, 4 single crochets, chain 5, and then 4 single crochets worked on your next chain 5 space. Then you'll repeat that 2 more times for your next 2 leaflet crochet stitches. Getting a ball of yarn up here. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then we got 1 more here, leaflet crochet stitch. 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then the 4. I'm trying to get past these leaflet crochet stitches because I've already shown you many times how to do those already. Okay, which brings us back up to the next section. So again, you're going to want to triple crochet in all the spaces until you get to your center one. And then your center one, you always put 4 triple crochets in, and then using the rest of the spaces between the triple crochets, you'll put one single triple crochet in there. So I'm going to go through using that first. Whoops, my bad. You never want to put anything in the spaces before your leaflet crochet stitches and the triple crochet area. You have the space in between them both. Never want to put anything in there. Always make sure you're putting your triple crochets between 2 triple crochets, and never between a triple crochet and a leaflet. So we put 1 triple crochet in our first space, which brings us up to our middle space. So we're going to put 4 triple crochets in this space. This is the area where you'll mark to later on. That way you'll always know which is your middle space, because it gets wider and wider and wider. I usually just split those 4, and then I'll put the marker there on that section where they're all going in, like this. Then I'll put a marker in between those, just so I know that this is the space there, that's the middle. You should do that for each one of your 5 peaks that you have those. So then you know the next space here is just a single space, so I'm going to put a triple crochet in that space, and that'll bring us back up to our leaflet crochet stitches again. So we want to continue to do that. You can go ahead and start placing your markers this row if you want. Again, we only have 3 spaces, so it's going to be a single triple crochet here, 4 triple crochets in the middle, and then a single triple crochet there. Never put anything in the space between the triple crochet and the leaflet. Just go on and go into your next one and do your 3 leaflet stitches and then your triple crochets. Continue that till you get to the end of row 9. Okay, I just doing my last triple crochet in between my last space here. Okay, and that ends row 8, right? No, row 9. Okay, for row 10, and row 10 is the last level. Now you're always going to be chaining 3. 1, 2, 3. Always chain 3 and turn. And that first chain 3 will always cover that first space. So now we have a total of 2, 4, 5 spaces here. The first one's covered by the chain 3. So then the next one we'll put a triple crochet in, which will bring us to our center one. We'll put 4 triple crochets there, and then the next 2 spaces we'll have triple crochet, triple crochet. In every row you'll be adding 2 more spaces on either side of our 4 triple crochets. So next row you'll have the middle, then you'll have 3 triple crochets after the middle and before the middle, and it'll happen like that every row. So if you need to place a marker on each middle so that you can just triple crochet in all the spaces until you reach that marker, then you know you need to put 4 triple crochets there, and then you'll work 1 triple crochet in the next 2 spaces. And remember, never put triple crochet or anything in this space between. Always work a triple crochet between 2 triple crochets, never between a triple crochet and a LCS, leaflet crochet stitch. And that's it. It's going to be that simple. It's going to be the simple repeat over and over and over again of row 10. So the first space is always covered by the chain, the beginning chain 3. So then you'll yarn over twice and work a triple crochet in the next, which brings us up to our center. So we're going to put 4 triple crochets worked in this center spot. And then the next spaces will be triple crochet and triple crochet. And then that'll bring us back up to our leaflet crochet stitches, where we go right into our chain 5 and put our 4 single crochets, chain 5, and then 4 single crochets. And of course you'll do your leaflet stitch 3 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2, 3, 4. 3, 4, chain 5, and single crochet 4. And then that will bring us back up to our triple crochet area. So yarn over twice, find the first space between the 2 triple crochets and put a triple crochet. Where's that marker, by the way? So let's just pretend that last row we'll put our marker here in between our 4 triple crochets so that we could find it easier. I'm doing another shawl, so I have so many of my markers elsewhere. So you'll put triple crochet in between the spaces of the triple crochets till you reach your marker again. That lets you know that this is your middle. And then in the middle you will put 4 triple crochets worked in that one space. And then you will triple crochet 1 in the spaces in between the triple crochets until you reach your first leaflet crochet stitch, and then you'll take it from there. And this will be the repeat over and over and over again. Now, because this is marked clearly and you're working with triple crochets, it's pretty easy to see from the next row when you come here that you know that you're getting closer. You don't have to move this up every row. I think I had to move it up on every 4th row just to make sure that I could find that middle one without really much thought. So next time you'll have 1, 2, 3 spaces to cover before you reach the center where you'll put 4 triple crochets, and then again you'll have triple crochet, 3 spaces after. And every row it'll get like that. You'll be adding 1 more space on each side. And then your leaflets will always be the same. And that's it. Easy, easy breezy every row. And place your markers, and then it should never be a problem. So that's it, guys. I really hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you did, please don't forget to like and share and comment. It helps me out so much. And be sure to click on that little bell button next to my subscribe button on my main YouTube page to always be notified whenever I release a new tutorial. Also, I have 2 groups on Facebook, one called Crochet Zone Public and the other one is called Crochet for the Masses. Crochet for the Masses is more of a private group, and Crochet Zone Public is a group where a lot of the other designers, not just myself, will post their newest stuff. So it's worth a check out every now and again. Also, I have a community group on Pinterest where a lot of designers will share free pattern links. Keep it spam free, so you can go there and always find a free pattern. Oh, also I have a link blast now, so you can find the link underneath this video or on the right side of any of my pages on my website, and it'll be a big purple thing. That you can sign up for my email blast so that you can always know what I got going that week and the latest news that's going to be coming from me and everything. So please take a moment to subscribe to my email blast. So that's it, guys. Thank you so much for watching.